13 Folds Live. And welcome back to 13 Folds Live on lemonadio.com. And I'm Dave Death. I'm here with my co-host tonight, Eddie Bills. How you doing over there, Eddie?
Rah, rah, rah.
And
doing all right.
We have a very special guest, another one of my very close friends, Jacob Augustine, from all the way from Maine. Up there in Maine, chum. How you doing up there?
Hey, Bob. Nice to see you.
So, Jake...
Great to be here. Thanks for having me, my friend.
Jake actually, even though we're friends, is one of my favorite musicians. I have been a fan ever since I've known you. And it's funny because you've been in you have the most eclectic music. I mean, not even taste, but just the music that you produce is so different and varied, and that's what I love about it.
What's the name of that tune we just heard?
The tune we just heard is called Coyote.
Oh, that was so much fun. I loved it.
Thank you. That's from an album called Frontier. That's the first tune up.
And I put so we're here tonight. We're here tonight with Jacob Augustine to discuss his new project, Harlem Brando. But I did put some of your older stuff on there because there's so much stuff that you've done in the past and not a lot of people have heard it. And I wanted to introduce a lot of our fans and people that listen to the show to your stuff. So I felt that it was to do you justice, I had to kind of bring them through the catalog. And actually your song, the very first song we played tonight was, God's Guns. And so we started off early. You know, we're taking it way back and we're going to bring them through the cycle, but during the process we are going to play the entire Harlem Brando album tonight for you guys. And this is the first time it's been played like this. Like nobody else has been able to pick it up, bring it to a mass audience. We're doing it for you guys tonight here first, once again, on 13 Folds Live on lemonadio.com. And we're going to talk with Jake throughout this whole thing, and we're going to get lit, dude. You ready to party tonight? I mean, it's an hour-long interview, but you may have to stay on afterwards and we'll drink and talk, because I haven't seen you in forever, it seems.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. It's been, 2 years?
Yeah, at least 2 years. It's been a while.
Last time I saw you was at my brother's birthday party when you fell on the floor.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. That's funny that you bring that up. Yes, an epic moment in 13 Folds history.
Nothing I saw, but it's still an image that will always live in my mind. It's my own imagination. It's great just seeing you with the Q-tips and all the stuff on top of your passed out body. Oh, it's fun.
Oh yeah, good times in the Stone Boat Saloon? Isn't that what it is?
Place. That's the place to smile on your face, right there.
So yeah, man. Welcome to the show. First of all,
Thanks.
What have you been up to since COVID started? Like, have you been? I mean, what's it been like? You're in Maine. You were far away from everybody, anyways, up there. So, you know, how's it affected you?
COVID has been, it's been tough for sure, man. It's I just do music for most of my living or whatever, so
so you're not able to play live. They took that away from you.
Yeah, I haven't really been able to play or anything like that. I did one virtual show with Space Gallery in Portland.
Yeah.
Other than that, I haven't really done any music.
Was it a paid gig? Did you make any? Was it a paid gig, the virtual one?
Yeah, it was a little bit.
All right. I mean, I'm just curious because that's the thing is a lot of the virtual stuff, like we're all learning on the fly, and there's not a lot of money to go around. It's not like doing a live show where everybody gets to come out, because what makes a live show special is the energy at that show. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's like being at a show, listening to music, hanging out with your friends, you're drinking, you're partying. It's an experience to where now when it's virtual, it's me and the 2 or 3 people in my house at 6 foot socially distanced with mask on. We follow precautions. And so we're there, and it's just us. It's not the same energy. So a lot of people aren't buying into the virtual platform. It's not an easy sell, you might say.
Yeah, you got to have your finger on the pulse of whatever virtual platform might be trying to get your attention, I guess.
So
it was a good experience overall. You know what I mean? It wasn't. It was that particular show was to benefit Space Gallery and to benefit me a little bit too.
Yeah,
worked over pretty well. But overall, I haven't really been doing too much during COVID times. I've always been pretty isolated. So when I stopped being able to play gigs and I play nursing homes too. I do like old hymns and talking a Southern accent and talk to nursing homes. And I also play blues on a steel guitar, slide guitar, old Robert Johnson, stuff like that.
Nice.
At bars as well. So that was always kind of been a bit of my social life. So when COVID went down, it was like solitary confinement for real, like for real. And I'm sure it was for a lot of people. But it was
damn, double whammy, man. The music industry got demolished, and a lot of nursing homes have had some horror stories.
Oh yeah. Oof. Yeah, we're not doing no blues sessions at the nursing home now. That's for sure.
No. Yeah, I hope if I do get to go back to them, I hope to see all the same faces there smiling. That's for sure.
Does it make me a horrible person that when I'm walking in the grocery store and I see an old person walking down my aisle, that's the only time I get nervous about COVID. Does that make me a bad person?
Because you don't want to give it or you don't want to get it?
Old people scare me now. They're like zombies to me. Old people scare the shit out of me. And that is how COVID has affected me.
You are a bad person. I don't know if that makes you a bad person.
But that's not what makes me a bad person.
That kind of contributes a little bit. But there's a lot to that puzzle.
All right, so those are the cons, though, of COVID. The way we perceive old people and not being able to have social life and play gigs and stuff like that. But now the pros, like you've been isolated up there with nobody to hang out with, nothing but your musical instruments per se.
Yeah, mostly, yeah. Got to see family a little bit here and there, but overall, yeah, I've been tooling around a little bit with a little bit, man.
Yeah,
really. A little bit. I actually joined a boxing gym for a minute, and I started boxing for a minute. Then I got a minor concussion boxing, and that.
Yeah. Well, you are a giant of a man, so it's intimidating, but
it was fun.
You're too nice.
You have to get a concussion when you start boxing. That's like jumping in the stock market and not taking a loss right away.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. It was the concussion. I had a little bit of a ring in the ear too, and I started thinking maybe. I always wanted to box. I always wanted to join a gym. But you need your face to be a musician. You need your ears. You need your Can't be walking beat up. It's to trying to play to some restaurant or.
Well, did you get that out of your system?
Yeah, I feel like I did. Yeah, I felt good about it. It's not like I got my ass kicked or nothing. It was just like I took a shot. A couple of days later, had some effects from it. Got it checked out. Like it's a minor thing. And from there, sitting in the dark room and like. Recovering from something like that, it lets you think about it. And when you're my age, just like it's foolish to even start when you're my age. So it was definitely a product of COVID. Like I didn't have any outlet, nothing, but I happened to this private gym, and luckily he played in there and took me in for a while. It was good.
So next time you're thinking that you might want to try something, give me a call. I'll come up there. We'll hang out. I'll slap you around a little bit. Nice slaps. Like love taps.
And one thing I learned about my family and some of my friends that I told that to when I started is that I love them very much because they all have a lot of belief in me. They really, they're really like, you can do this, man. You got it,
dude. You got the look. That's half of the battle.
And I did do well, but I was in the end. That's what I really took from it a lot. I was like, damn, I got to be careful because like the people who love me seem to think that I can really pull off some. I mean, I'm a boxing freak. Like I love the sport, and I know that a guy like me getting into that game at my age is a fucking fallacy. Man.
Oh yeah, you're not a spring chicken anymore, chum.
Nothing happened. Like, happened. There's no Disney's Tale. Like Disney didn't even try that one because the old boxing heads like no fucking way.
Even fairy tales have their boundaries.
All right, let's play some music, man. We're gonna run out of time because we're gonna be shooting this shit all night.
I want to give a shout out to the people in the comments. There's a Rebel Sunrise and Angela Thornton saying what up on our YouTube channel.
What
so
up? What up?
anyone
what
else
up?
that wants to chime in, feel free.
All right, guys. So here
That's my
is the first track from Harlem Brando. And I'm excited to be the first guys to play this for you, man. So here's Harlem Brando from Jacob Augustine. Well, it's Love from Harlem Brando, Jacob's new project. And this is off of Take Care of Your Babies. And you're hearing it here first on 13 Folds live on lemonadio.com.
Love, 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 love. I see the baby, I see your sunlight.
And welcome back to 13 Folds live on lemonadio.com. And we are here with Jacob Augustine talking about his new project, Harlem Brando. That was actually an older song, High Water, off of Harmonia, I believe.
Yes,
So what year was that? That was like 2010, earlier?
that was recorded in 2007, and I officially released it in 2008.
Okay. So that's my favorite album.
Where did you record that? That's phenomenal.
I recorded that partially at a place called Sine Wave Studios in Hemet, California, with a producer. His name is Nick Cherry. And Nick Cherry co-wrote High Water, the song you just heard. He wrote the chord progression to that, as well as another track on that record called The Song for Sally. And but yeah, we recorded that in his studio. We also recorded that in the living room of a place where I was staying at my friend Chris Pendergrass's. We recorded the horns and the trumpet in an apartment that we used to go smoke a lot of herbs at and chill with some buddies of ours, Bob and Rob. And then we recorded the fiddle guy. His name is Rye. He was in a band called the Leprechauns. They were down in San Diego County. And he would, they're like an Irish band. They would rip the pubs up down there. And he would record them. Nick had a studio called Sine Wave Studios, which I think I just mentioned. But anyway, he would record some of these guys. So I kind of had him pick from the lot of
You had
talent.
him cherry pick for you.
Yeah, and we traveled down to his place as well, Rise, and he ripped all that stuff with a harmonizing like guitar effects pedal and a fiddle on the floor. And it was crazy because it smelled just like my dad's place in Buffalo when I was a kid growing up. So I walked in and I smelled exactly like my dad's place. And my dad's an Irish folk musician as well. So it was, I don't know if it was like just Guinness and like Irish music just makes your house smell like that after a while.
I think it's more the Guinness.
Yeah, I think it had to have been the Guinness. But it did. It smelled, walking in, it was just very comforting. I was like, wow, this smells just like my dad's.
Good beer and good company.
Yeah.
Didn't you do a blues project too, right around the same time you were doing this? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, man, it was kind of so when the Red Cloud broke up, the Donnybrook band, Red Cloud Revival and stuff. When we broke up, I went back to California, and I made a band called Mojo Fat Belly, which you can actually look it up on YouTube. It's on there, and it's like, and if someone has heard that music before, they probably wouldn't think that Harlem Brando was such a strange twist.
I loved Mojo Fat Belly. That was one of my favorite projects.
It was like funk music. I was like scratching the funk itch. I was in California with all these dudes, and they're
But you don't have anything on Bandcamp for that, do you?
No, I don't think so. And Nick Cherry, actually, that same guy who produced Harmonia, Nizzard, the Big Nizzard. He was in Mojo Fatboy as well and wrote some of that music as well. He had play creatively in that.
We need to get some digital files of that, dude. We need to get that music out there too. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun stuff, man. Different, really different. When I look back on all the music I've made, that's the one that's like the biggest question mark. 'Cause I really dig it, but I think like, what the hell? Where the hell did that come from? Like,
It
it's never something I would have set out to make specifically. It just kind of
just
happened.
happened.
He kind of dug the funk style shit, and like we were from that old school Blood Sugar, Sex Magic, old school Mother's Milk, Chili's era P-funk style shit. And I don't know, you're just out there in the palm trees, just smoking ganja and just
Making
you
music.
you just get a vibe going, man. That was that album was called California Republic. Just kind of like this California vibe just kind of took me under for a minute, and then I kind of ran out of money out there, and I was like, Nizzard, man, I want to make a folk record before I go. And he was really burnt out from the Mojo stuff, and because I was pretty demanding of his time.
Yeah.
He loved making the music, but I was pretty, I pretty much had access to a studio all the time, so I was always just pushing him to get in there all the time. And
See,
we were
you
like
call it
we were like Dick and Steve's best friends when I was living out there.
yeah, you
But
call it folk, but I kind of look at it's like an alternative folk. You know,
Yeah.
it's different, and it's so different than Harlem Brando. You know, you have Harlem Brando, and you have Jacob Augustine, and and you had Mojo Fat Belly, and they are all very different from each other, especially and just different from even Donnybrook and Red Cloud Revival. Like you came from a hardcore band
Yeah.
from your music background or your intro into the music, and you've transitioned to all these different things. So, you know, I don't know what's it like to do that dramatic type of change. Like, did you have any fear that people weren't going to like seeing that side of you in music?
Yeah. I didn't really want to release it, actually. I had this idea, like, so I want to answer your question. So yeah, I did. I had a fear of putting it out there because I'm singing in a different style voice, and it was so different from anything I had done before. I knew that the Augustine, people. I don't have a flock of, some people know who I am, but they know me as a
No, a
certain.
lot of people knew who you were. You guys were riding the wave, and you were one of the bigger acts in Providence at the time, and everybody knew who you are. And even
Oh,
for
yeah.
those of us who knew you, to watch you go from Red Cloud Revival, Donnybrook, and then see this side of you,
Mhm.
a lot of us were blown away. Like nobody knew you had that in you, and I think it's funny because you say you had a little bit of fear doing it. You didn't want to do it, and
Actually, I was actually speaking on Harlem Brando, not Augustine from the hardcore stuff.
oh, okay,
So I actually wasn't. I'm sorry, I got confused on your question. I actually wasn't scared for the folk stuff, really.
all right.
That was I don't think I felt. I don't think I felt like people would really know about it because it wasn't the same time then. Like it wasn't like you could just flip on your Facebook and see what thing I'm doing next. So
Yeah.
that was
good.
more
That's
just
good. That's like a healthy rebranding.
yeah.
Huh?
So I just kind of. I mean, I always wrote that music too. Like some of the songs that I wrote that were on Harmonia, I wrote when I was 18. So I had been writing that music for quite some time.
And some of those songs were perfected in my living room.
Yes, it's true.
Some of the best
True.
artists did not get great reception when they switch up their sound. And I'm thinking of like folk wise like Bob Dylan, but I'm a hip hop guy and I know the story of Outkast performing Hey Y'all for the first time. They did it at a festival in Atlanta, a hip hop festival. They got booed off stage apparently because it was a pop song and they were like the headliner, the biggest hip hop acts doing pop now. Everybody's like, what is this? But then it was
Yeah.
number one.
Right? Yeah, I could see that. I mean, even in like the Donnybrook band that we played in Providence, that we we kind of went through fans pretty quickly too. Because a lot of that was my fault, I would say. But we changed our sound so much. Like if you listen to the beginning of Donnybrook to Red Cloud Revival record, Dave, I'm sure you're more familiar with all those records.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that whole movement, that's quite different by the end. And we used to have a lot of heavier fans, I think, that kind of ditched it when we started getting more experimental, and likewise back and forth. It's almost like we gained fans, but I didn't think about that at all then when I wrote. It was Donnybrook, writing in Donnybrook, and all that whole era of my writing particularly was like getting chops. You know what I mean? It was like I wasn't really thinking of the music as a whole thing. I wasn't thinking of things as a piece. It was more like just getting tons of chops and like exploring counts and exploring understanding how music works, I guess.
You know what?
And end of it was actually to the point where it was conceptual, where it was more.
You guys were more like, about you get Donnybrook fans were more like a community, though. You kept a lot of those fans. There were a lot of diehard fans.
Like, sure, dude, yeah. I
went and saw you guys.
Everybody, we definitely had diehards for sure. I
went and saw you guys play in a fucking parking lot in front of a liquor store in the backwoods of Maine with like 500 people there, dude. It was insane. It was like the biggest.
I want to go to that party. What?
Redneck keg party you ever seen?
We had some good gigs, man. I mean, we did real good for a band that came out of the place where we came out of. We did pretty good for ourselves, I'd say.
You guys did awesome.
Even locally, we did pretty well locally. I mean, I think the year I got out of high school, we played a festival that my cousin put on, and our friend Galen Libby put on. And I remember when we hit the stage, it was like 1,500 heads there, like 10 minutes down the road from our podunk little town that we grew up in that doesn't even have 350 kids in the high school.
You guys are legends up in the Lincoln area.
We had a lot of kind of fateful moments, I think, that pushed. I know me personally, I had a lot of fateful moments that pushed me in that direction pretty heavy. Because when I started playing in set when I was a 7th grader, and I was jamming with Josh and the older guys, and now, well, I say older, not that much older. It's like 3 or 4 years differences.
Trap Jaw.
Yeah, Trap Jaw was the band. Great, I was jamming with those boys, but I had my own little crew too down in the basement after school, and I was cutting that stuff up. And by the time that we were, I think, sophomores or something in high school, we were opening up for Tree at a club down 30 minutes down from where we were. And Tree was kind of like a legend, they're a legend for a band from Boston.
I got Dave Tree. We should.
And I got lucky to open
bomb him
because my friend Anthony and we just called the place and they let us play there. So it was like we're these 14-year-old kids like opening up for these touring acts, and it was almost like I wasn't given a choice in the path of what my life was going to be. Because when you get to do something that fun and cool when you're that young, like what's fun?
Yeah,
cool
where do you go from there? It's all up. It's all uphill from there. You know, the sky's the limit.
You know, when it's all magic too. When you're that young, like music's always magic, but when you're that young and you're learning and you're just getting those things down and you're able to play some of this more simple stuff, it's like really magical, man. You unlock, like, you learn the riff from a dime bag or something, and you can actually play that riff for the first time, and it's like literally like magic. And then after a certain point, it becomes like any kind of thing you'd be working on. You know what I mean? When you get a greater understanding of it, that magic kind of goes away. So at that time, especially, man, to be able to open up for Tree, which we had been listening to those guys for a couple of years because of my brother, older guys going down there to that club and stuff. So, oh man, we were like thrilled. And then from there, it was just like, this is going to be playing tunes for life, man. And then, 40 years old, here I sit.
Yeah. But you know what,
and you
man?
are doing it.
You're doing what you love doing. Listen, let me play the meat of the album. I got this one's called The Machine in Me, Harlem Brando. And we'll be back in another couple minutes to talk more with Jacob. You're listening to 13 Folds live on lemonadio.com. Before we go into music, though, I want to give one more shout out to our sponsors, Northeast Alternatives, Solar Therapeutics, Wonderland Smoke Shop, and Kind Card. Thank you guys for making all this happen. We'll be right back.
kisses all over you. You're like a truth to be ground down. You're like a truth to be ground down. I wouldn't count anybody out. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, my love is unending, overflowing, flooding the hatchet and its light.
Welcome back to 13 Folds Live, sponsored by Solar Therapeutics, Northeast Alternatives. Ooh, I got out of control there. Wonderland Smoke Shop and Kind Card. Thank you guys for all making this happen. And we're back with Jacob Augustine, Harlem Brando. We just played the beef of Harlem Brando right there. Like that was the guts of it. I think there's one more song, and we'll go out on that song after the interview. But I did throw in a little deep cut there. What's the name of that song? Old Chico.
Old Tico. That's Old Tico.
Yeah, that's an awesome one. And
Old Tico is the oldest tree in the world, I believe.
oh yeah?
Yeah.
So is that what the song's about? Getting old?
No.
Getting old and being a tree?
No, it's actually it's actually a dick reference, to be honest.
Well,
It will.
nice. It's good to know. I'm glad we played it now. I prefer that we played it. Why didn't you tell me this? I've been playing that song for
Oh,
years.
Dave loves the penis references.
I
on
love
his show.
penis references.
Good God. Check out his playlist on some past
Oh, there's
shows.
at least one penis reference song per show.
Guaranteed.
I like to slip my penis songs in when least expected. I'm like the Bill Cosby of radio over here.
Floats somewhere in it really floats somewhere in like it's kind of in somewhere into like male dominance of culture and how civilization is rolled, basically. That's the scope of it.
Take me seriously, but don't forget to laugh at my jokes.
So Harlem Brando, you were saying that you had a little bit of fear. You almost didn't release this. And I think it's awesome. It's refreshing that it's so different. How did you get here from where you were with Jacob Augustine?
So I had recorded a record in I believe it was 2015, and I recorded it with Peter McLaughlin and McKay Belk and Asher Platts. These guys are all musicians from Maine, and we tracked that record, and we had played around a little bit and toured it a little bit before we had tracked it, and then kind of how it all went down was my mom got sick, and my mom passed, and from there I just stopped playing music altogether. I stopped playing Jacob Augustine shows. I stopped playing. I didn't pursue that record anymore. It was just kind of dead in the water. It was tracked, but I never even wanted to mess with it.
Yeah.
So I just got to a point where I didn't want to make that music anymore. I didn't want to make Jacob Augustine music anymore because it was too sad. A lot of it was too personal. The record that I had just recorded was certainly too personal from where my head was. And I just didn't really want that. That's kind of like it's like the double-edged sword of that style of my writing and that whole project, whatever it is. The Jacob Augustine music is like, it's just a hard headspace to live in. It's a hard music to like go place a whole bunch of shows in a row. And, all the way back to Harmonia, I'm singing about like our old friend Sammy, and I'm singing about common songs, and I sing, it was always a really personal kind of music for me. So it's like, you can only relive so many of your friends' faces that you can't see anymore, and think about these bad memories of you want to forget, but you made the mistake of writing them into songs. So
I know that feeling, man. I had a musical mentor that I asked for advice one time. I showed him my music and asked what they think. They were like, "Your music's really good, but it's not fun." it was because of that. Like I was just putting too much of myself in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I understand for sure. Yeah, and I'm glad that I did, and I can still get back to those songs because that album is being mixed now. But anyhow, being a creative person, and I needed to still be creative, so
Yeah.
I just wanted to. It's funny how it really started, or how I started exploring electronic stuff. I started exploring making beats. I started exploring drum machines and synthesizers because I'd never really worked with that stuff before. So I that got me kind of interested, and I wanted to stay away from that darkness that's in a lot of my art. So I kind of made a lot of different sounds, a lot of different things. And then honestly, that song "Love," the first song that you played from the Harlem Brando, was actually inspired by Snoop Dogg. I was Snoop Dogg on the Breakfast Club after he had just released his gospel record, and which I hadn't heard much of or anything. But
Have you
he was
heard
just
have you heard his funk record with Dame Funk, 7 Days of Funk? It's so good.
Yeah, I have, yeah. Very good.
I thought you were
I
gonna
love
say
it.
that.
Yeah, I love Snoop, man. I love that style, and I love that old G Funk style, man, and the P Funk and Bernie Worrell, and I love all that shit. And that he just was talking about making something positive and putting something positive into the world, and I feel like I had done that with my music before because of how it would help people, maybe be catharsis for people, or maybe just be entertainment or whatever it is, peaceful, whatever to get out of it. It's positive, but I never had made something that was actually like point blank, period, positive, just like fucking, just like celebration, flat out celebration or something. So I was like, God damn, I'm gonna do that. So I was working for a call center briefly at the time from home, and I'll leave out the name of the major conglomerate, but
in between punching people in the face in the boxing gig, or was this
no,
after?
this is way before actually.
All
This is
right.
way before. After I had that stuff happen in life there, that dark period there with my mom, I'm serious. Like I'm telling you, I stopped playing music, man. Like I was like,
know, I remember.
I'm not playing music ever again.
Hiatus
gonna
is
go
not bad. Hiatus
And
is
I went-
healthy.
Yeah, but I started driving a truck for a while, delivery truck. The first day that I actually had to take on a route, I like parked it and like with the keys in it in the
That good
parking
art
lot.
will build up inside you while you're keeping busy.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I got a couple jobs and I quit them, And anyway, I got the call center job because you could work from home, and I figured if I was just a really shitty employee, I could just be a really shitty employee and just record all day and just have the rig in the studio room. Just like I'm getting paid to play tunes to a degree, just learning the stuff and cutting it up. So
You recorded
like,
music while driving a truck, like when you stopped? And
No,
stuff?
no. What do you got this other job?
Oh, I'm
that's it.
imagining you driving a big rig with a studio in the back. Like that sounds cool as hell, man. What?
Yeah, that is a cool idea. No. No, this is the call center job. But anyhow, that's when I made that. That's when I made that tune "Love," and then that kind of style followed.
Because you were loving life, dude. You were getting paid to sit at fucking home and make music.
I got a bunch of friends that work in call center, like stay-at-home type jobs, and they're always like, "You need to do this as a creative. This helps. You get to just be home and do your thing."
Yeah. Dude, that's why I always shit at work. I want to get paid to waste time.
Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, fucking shit, man. Yeah, I got paid for a while to record tunes. It was like I was getting paid to record tunes. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
And I
that's
couldn't-
awesome.
Oh, man. Eventually, I got skilled up, to a different level. The phone starts ringing off the hook. I mean, I have a very bad temper, I'd be pulling the cord out of the wall like all the time before I got promoted.
Dude, because you're
Like,
tired. You've been recording all night,
Oh man,
I've
was
been
bad,
recording
man.
all night. When's
Yeah,
the next guy come in?
I actually took that kind of job better when I was in the place, like actually at the center, because there's people next to me that I could grieve with
Yeah.
in between.
Complain
when
about
you're-
calls.
Yeah, like when you're in your own house, like for me anyway, I was just like, how fucking dare you fucking be rude to me?
Wait a minute. I'm getting paid for this.
I just like took it personal, man. I couldn't deal with it. I mean, getting good calls all day, one bad call, I'm just like, fuck this. Like, my
And
computer-
Harlem Brando was born out of this, huh?
Yeah, man. Harlem Brando was born out of that. I mean, I started getting into it a little bit before that time, but the stuff that's out that we're hearing now from this release is that music. That was
Now you said this
the
release, you got more Harlem Brando coming out for a remix or something, right?
yes. So for this record, "Take Care of Your Babies," there's going to
Which
be
I do.
a full remix. I know you do. You're one of my favorite daddies out there, and we yeah, I got the remix coming out. A guy named Chris Bouchard is doing that. It's finished. I'm really happy with it. He really took it away from what it was. Left a bit of the themes, but overall, it's a kind of a completely different thing.
Nice.
But it's also electronic and shit. But that's coming out. That's dope. I'm excited for that. And then there's actually a second part of Harlem Brando coming out.
All new songs, not remixes.
Nope, all new songs. Yeah, and that is going to be titled. What is that going to be titled?
Dave Death Rocks.
Death's in the title. Death is in the title. I just want to get the name right. I want to get the name right. It's Greed Money. Yeah, Greed Money Power Death. That's the name of the next one.
I like that. I get prime billing.
Yeah, yeah, you're in it. So I was hoping you could be at least part of the cover.
Yeah,
But
well, you know what?
That's different than this one too. So it's typically like you're not going to get, no one's going to get another thing like the one before. And
Are you printing them? Didn't you do one on vinyl at one point? Didn't you release some stuff on vinyl?
Nothing of my own. I did I did a split actually. I did a split with a band called Bad Braids.
All right.
Pretty Purgatory, which is Peter McLaughlin's record company. They're out of Portland, Maine. I did that. That was a cool process. I'd love to put the Harlem Brando stuff on a record. Like I'd love to do a split where "Take Care of Your Babies" is on one side, and then
the next one,
"Money, Power, Greed, Death's on the other side, and just have different art for both sides, and just flip it. You're looking
on
at
vinyl. I'd buy that.
Dude, they got
Right.
it set up. You can print something on the entire album now. Like you're not just limited to the circle in the middle. You can actually print the entire album. It's cool as shit.
Yeah, man, it's dope. Yeah, I'd love to do that because I've never actually released my own, aside from that split, which is cool. But it's it's a split.
Let's do it. I'm in. Let's do it. I'll do the artwork. I'll figure out how to get it printed. We'll get a sponsor.
I know a beautiful vinyl presser
Great.
out of Italy too.
Really?
They ship to the U.S. Yeah.
That'd be
Alright.
amazing.
It's like an American company. If you look it up and check it out, I'll share it with you.
Dude,
Right
we'll
on,
do a
thanks.
limited edition 13 folds vinyl press
That would be sick.
of Harlem Brando. And we'll give it
Yep.
out at the first, as soon as they lift all this COVID shit and we can have 1,000 people, we're going to do a show and we'll print 1,000 of those albums.
That would be amazing.
And then we'll burn them in the festival. It'll be an album burning.
Yeah.
We're too sensitive. It's all this
I love.
It's all this
I love it all.
crazy music. We're shutting this guy down. All right, so we're already over our hour, but you know what? Fuck it, man. We're having fun. I want to play. This is another one of my favorite tracks off of Harmonia. Suicide Bombs. I love this song. You know what? I always like. There's one song. You have one of the songs that's my favorite, and I didn't play it. I left it off. And all the listeners who like Jake's stuff, you're going to have to come out to our live event because I always make him play it whenever he does a show live. And The News, remember? I love that song. I always make Jacob play that whenever he does a show for us. But
That's
here,
the oldies request right there. The oldies love that one.
so Suicide Bombs off of Harmonia, Jacob Augustine, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about Harlem Brando, and let's find out a little bit what else you got coming up. So you're listening to 13 Folds live on lemonadio.com. It's overtime.
He who is like an orphan sleeps in the bed with a government gun. when school goes kaboom. Sit back to the sounds of a united doom. Suicide bomb.
And welcome back to 13 Folds Live on lemonadio.com. And that was Suicide Bombs by Jacob Augustine. Awesome song, man.
Thank you, brother.
Like I said, that album in general is probably my favorite out of all the projects that you've done is Harmonia. And tell people where to get that, actually, because I want anybody listening, I know you got it, you got your music up there. I want to say it's on iTunes, but there's other places that you can go and get it and, not contribute to the man.
Yeah, man. There's Bandcamp sites for all of that. You can get Harmonia and all of my other releases, Jacob Augustine releases, at jacobaugustinemusic.bandcamp.com. You can just Google Augustine in the Google bar as well. That works. And follow me on Instagram. There's also the harlembrando.music.bandcamp.com. That's where you can see the Harlem Brando stuff. And if you're not hip to Bandcamp, it's all those records are on all major streaming platforms. That all started in December. So I've gotten on the streaming train. But the artist does make the most money from a direct sale, which would be through Bandcamp.
Awesome.
And we always appreciate that stuff. And it does go a long way because these conglomerate companies are just...
They rob us all.
It's ridiculous.
Probably a couple decades now, Bandcamp has been the best place to do that.
The most artist friendly, anyways.
Definitely. Yeah. It's challenging.
So what are we looking at for a date for this the Harlem Brando remix and the Harlem Brando Part 2?
Okay, so I would expect the remix to be coming out, within even the next couple of weeks. I would say in April, probably the first week of April, we'll probably be dropping those remixes.
All right, awesome.
And we'll play it on the show.
Right on, yes, please, thank you. And I'm really proud of that stuff. And then the second Harlem Brando release will be, it's already finished and stuff. It's just a few minor mixing touches. It's drastically different from the first one, so
nice.
Not finished apart. If folks are into the first one, but it's a little too lovey or a little too laid back and funked out, the second one is it kind of sounds like explosions and just it's the same voices and the same instruments, but the music itself is really hard. It's not
all right
anything like that.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
By the summertime, anyway.
I'll vouch for you. You know what? I will vouch for this man. I will put my left testicle on the line right now that if you do not like this album, I will chop it off. Not on video or anything. Like, I will have it surgically removed. How's that? I'm not going to chop it off.
It'll be
I'm
documented.
not a fucking heathen. So
and also while I'm on all the promotion here, there is a new Jacob Augustine album. That album that I had mentioned that was dead in the water years ago is being mixed right now by a guy named Noah Cole, who mixed Frontier, the record with Coyote on it. We opened the show with it today.
All right.
And, that will be coming out this year too. So for Jacob Augustine fans who have been waiting for a release, the first one in I don't even know now how many years.
Been a long time.
It's coming. Yeah, it's
almost
coming
5 years, right? 2018 maybe.
Yeah, longer, much longer. It's been I think 5 years.
All right.
When we recorded this one, I released a few demos and things like that. So I guess you could be correct, actually.
Yeah.
Satan Sings, I put out a few demos here and there, but this will be the first real release since when I released Goldie Hymn. No, since Bikini Island.
Okay.
Actually.
All right. Awesome. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna listen to the last track from "Take Care of Your Babies." We have gone way over, but you know what? We've had fun, and you know what? Let's plan on for the second one. Let's do, if we're not doing a live release party for the second part of this, let's do an on-air release right here, man. We'll do one and
Let's do it.
you know, we'll pump it up and get some people to chime in. So, yeah, let's go out on this is the self-titled Take Care of Your Babies. We're going to play some music. I got more of your songs intermingled into the next playlist. So you'll be able to hear more Jacob Augustine and and yeah, shoot, man, I drank way too much tonight. This is why they banned me from drinking. They're
Oh,
like, no,
come on. You had like 3 White
Great.
Claws.
dude, I had almost
Pull
had
yourself together.
almost had a 4-pack, dude. Come on, White Claw. um, yeah, be sure to check out Jacob's latest project on Bandcamp. Come on, bring that back. And come on, don't be that. She's away for the weekend. I feel like mom's not here, and I get to fuck up and like raise hell. But she'll be back next week, I think, to crack the whip. I won't be able to drink again. Thank you, sponsors: Solar Therapeutics, Kind Card, Wonderland Smoke Shop. A special shout out to our premier sponsor, Northeast Alternatives, for making all this happen. Be sure to subscribe to 13 Folds Live on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. And yeah, go watch us whenever you get a chance. Check out the redos before they take them down, because it's pretty cool shit to look at, smoke weed, hang out, and just watch those cool old videos in the background and listen to the crazy shit that we got to talk about. We'll be back next week. Until then, Harlem Brando, this is Take Care of Your Babies by our good friend Jacob Augustine. Thank you for coming on and hang out after I start this shit back up, and we'll shoot the shit. 13 Folds Live, lemonadio.com. Folds Alive.